What's going on, guys? This is episode 17, I believe, of the Snowball Experiment. Today, I'm going to share you some of the major changes that I've made to the portfolio in order to build some buy and hold forever types of positions in the account. I've basically consolidated all the positions that I had. I forget how many it was, but it was anywhere between 20 and 30 positions that I've sold, and I've bought only three positions. So this is going to be interesting for some people that want to have a simplified portfolio. So the first pillar that I've built is HHIS, which is a high income shares in Harvest. It is quite leveraged in the equity side. You have all the superstars of the semiconductors like AMD, Broadcom. You have the Magnificent Seven, Nvidia, of course, and you have also some more staples, if you want, Costco, some stocks that are a bit more into the crypto verse, SoFi, Circle, Coinbase strategy in small positions, and these overlap with the other pillar that I've built. I'll explain that in a few. So if we look at the behavior of this ETF, as you can see, the blue line here, the light blue, is HHIS, and it is more volatile because it has a 25% leverage on the covered calls. Usually when you invest in a covered call that has no leverage, you will significantly reduce your upside because of the nature of these options. And also you will receive money as it comes down, so it buffers a bit the downside, but it also limits the upside. If we compare it with the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, you can tell that it goes down more when there is a downturn, but it also beats the market when there is an upside. But you have to be quite resistant to volatility. So that's the first pillar. I've invested, I think it's around 3,600. We'll see it in the end, but basically it provides now $1,000 per year in the account. If you remember, in the beginning of the Snowball Experiment, I wanted to create a diversified portfolio that would generate about $4,000 per year in passive income. Next investment is HBTE. This one is on the Canadian side as well. This one is specifically geared towards the crypto ecosystem, specifically Bitcoin ecosystem. And it has a lot of miners, but it also has some services like Coinbase and Block. You've got some of the companies have pivoted as well into AI because they have the computing power. They can also diversify their revenues toward the AI trade. And I think this is why the performance has been quite good. So these are the companies that are being held in there. It also has leverage. It's even more volatile than HHIS. But I really like this one because it's a more diversified play than playing Bitcoin alone, because you're going into companies that are also investing into stable coins, and with the Clarity Act coming, I think it's going to be benefiting from this new legislation. As far as comparing it with the iShares Bitcoin ETF, IBIT, you can tell that it has held much better over the same period. It has increased 109% compared to minus 34%. So it's a huge difference, but you're still investing into the Bitcoin and crypto ecosystem. So this is why I went for HBTE as my second holding, which is also around $3,600 to generate $1,000 a month. I will eventually increase these position sizes because I want to create some type of buffer in case there is a dividend cut. And also, when you have such high yields, I think they're around 25 to 27% yields. There's a lot of that is money coming back to you. It's basically them sending you your own money. So this is why I park these into accounts that don't have any taxes on. So next stop, my biggest position is CMCL. This one is a new bird. It is this is because of that the coming out of that ETF. I decided to make a move and really consolidate because I think this one really expresses the way I want to invest in the future, in the next decade or so, if not more, and not having to time anything in the market to buy or sell. I'm just going to hold a global commodities-based ETF. So this one is an interesting cat. It has 27% into base metals, 33% into precious metals, and 39% into energy. So it is touching all bases here, mostly in Canada, 60% in Canada and 22% into the States. Biggest holding is gold, then oil, copper, with fairly equal weightings, and then a bit more volatile. You get the silver, which is usually more volatile than gold per se. So you get 40 something percent into precious metals, and you get lithium and battery ETF. You got some uranium in there, and then you got Antero and Devon and EQT. So if we look at the holdings that are in there, this is the relative performance that they've had over the past year or so. Lit being the superstar over here with 125%. And some of the stocks in there that are related to like AR, Devon, and EQT, these are stocks that are into the oil and gas, natural gas space. And the reason I decided to go fairly heavy in there, with almost 50% of the portfolio into CMCL, is because of an image that I think speaks louder than words. You have the lowest commodities to equities ratio in a very, very long time. And we are at the bottom over here. So what this tells you is that commodities have been, equities have been largely leading the market and being way higher in valuations and investments than the commodities themselves. But with the whole AI trade, if we go into the future with more electricity and more speed of computation and things like that, we're going to need the basic materials that go with this. And the underinvestment that have been going on into copper mainly, and aluminum that they're going to need as well for all these data centers to support the AI trade. I believe that we're going to see a very aggressive commodities market in the next decade or so. So this is why I went pretty aggressive. This portfolio is quite volatile. It is not for everybody, but it's going to be the basis from which I'm going to start building a bit more in the future, a bit more stability. But for now, I'm going all in on high yields, but also a big part on the commodity side. So what does it look like on the snowball application here? So we've got CMCL with 50% invested, HBTE with 25, and HHIS with 23.9. What it looks like as far as dividends, we have CMCL generating $1,200, HHIS 1,000, and HBTE 1,000. And as far as the percentages of income that each represents, you got CMCL at 37, 31, and 32 for HBTE. So basically, they're more or less equal. I'll keep adding. I went to 1,200 here because I wanted to have $100 a month from CMCL specifically. And since it's a lower yield, if you look at the yields, HHIS is at 27% right now, 25 for HBTE, and 15% for CMCL. So this is why I invested close to $8,000 into CMCL because it's basically half the yield of these other two. And because I believe that this is where the money is going to flow in the next few years, I want to have as much exposure to these commodities as possible. So this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about to tell you how the portfolio is going. It has a 20% yield right now with a yield on cost of 21%. It generates 3250 in annual income, so it's $217 a month. We're getting close to 300, so I will have substituted basically 1 week of contributions because I've been investing $300 a week, week after week after week since the beginning of the experiment without ever stopping. So this speaks about the importance of discipline and automating also your investments when you can into an account and then building it over time. And when I started the experiment, I spent small amounts into multiple companies and building wide and just trying to diversify as much as possible. And then when I saw a product like CMCL, which really encompassed all the commodities ETFs that I had in the portfolio, I decided to sell everything and just concentrate into a few pillars that are themselves diversified, but that express an idea. So basically, 25% into equities, 25% into the crypto ecosystem, and 50% into commodities. And this is my view of the future, basically. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Time will tell. So in the next video, I will explain what the fourth pillar will be and why and how much I will be investing into it, and basically what I'm waiting for in order to invest in that fourth pillar. So stick around.